Allahi wa barakatuh mnagana kulamusako amachabu gali gatya era nga nkubuzaako gwe nawoli alina obukosefu kusasira nsaba mukama berenga akugumya aberenga kunyiga ebiwu nawe na ali musanyu kiramu nawe era nga ngamba mukama nti alhamdulillah rabbil alamin okuba nti akola kyonna kyakuwadde ofunye ensimbi ofunye zadde ofunye mulimu kyonna kyofunye kirungi webaze mukama kubanga yagaba yagera era yatwala nawe aviddwako kyoviriddwako birangera omwesigamira tomunenya tonyiiga tokaaba wabula gabo gambi nti Mungu kyontuteko kibadde kikyokubadde kugerako webale nnyo era nsaba oberenga mukisamu ekisinga obulungi nga kuba nti nno tongera okubanga tutya Mungu tumwesigamire tumwesinze temutugenda mu shiriki titumugattako mukama wa bujja era nemuze Tamale mwenyini akimanyi kyevola yajja mu sapuli yagamba mukama wa bujja tagattibwako osigamidde Mungu sigala ku Mungu gamba shiriki genda litodda so embeera bweto bwetambulira ati nkataga emanya program the sharp talk nova Tamale yatusedde mwali mu nyumba omutabani w'omugenzi Yohana Mirundi mama mule namatovu kulamusako mama era nga nsaba Mungu aberenga yongera okuba nti akuwangaza yongera okuba nti akumalira nabyo tago okuba nti akumalira embeera li mu ggwanga sinungi ebingi ebitambula twalabye kwa nemiro gifuuse emirimu mu masomero agenjawulo era nga n'essomero lya Bilal Islamic lyakutta omuliro nako olweggulo nekibanga bintu bingi byatukomose utugenda amasomero galinga 10 gakobya ne gakutta omuliro kujanga amasomero gaggulwawo era nga abaana mukaaga bakasuulamu akaba twebuuza kiki ekivaako amasomero kuba nti gakwata omuliro era lwaki tegalwanisiddwa okuba nti nno bitangira okuba nti omuliro guno gukwata wamu n'okuba ebiri mu parliament mubiraba era nga waliwo ebintu ebigenda mu maaso ababaka aposhoni babeera ne bagamba nti bagenze mu kwekalakasa mu kwediimo nga bagala omukulu minisita Jim Weza abeerenga jjibamu obwesige naye nteekateeka yagwa butaka era bakediimo bakakomekereza nga tebasobodde kubona bamujja mu busi twewuunya abakoposhoni bangi nnyo naye twalabyeko ng'emikono tejatusena kuba nti giba n'emikono wadde enkaaga oba ekinaana ntwebuuza abakabuli 10+ abala bakoze batya wamu n'okubanga era ne mukulu zaake naye mwenyini yatandise okuba nti awoza okuba nti yalebula oba yakkakkanya ekitiibwa kya speaker deputy speaker among naye ali mu kakiiko naye atoba nabo wamu n'okubeera twalabye nga waliwo abantu abasuuliddwa mu bitundu byaffe ebyennakawa gyenva omu yasuddwa nnakawa yasuddwa ffe kitale wennyininyini nga bagamba babadde mu kkomera nga baasibwa abantu abo nga ba NUP okuli omukulu Busuulwa Yasin wamu n'omukulu Okwale ntwebuuza okulugunya kuno era n'okuba nti nno abantu bano basuulibwa tokyazivaawa n'omukulu ow'akakiiko ka Human Rights Mariam Wangadya yavudde n'agamba nti bannange nange munsaasire nkolera mu kutya nkolera mu abantu nange bansongamu ennwe sobola kuba nti nva kuba ndwanira eddembe ly'Abannayuganda kubanga ndi ku ntujjo kyamangamba okuba kyembagaza okuba nti nvayo okwogera paka atogeza owokyogerera owedde omukulu Kibazanga yava mu FDC n'agenda mu yeso ga NRM ekaseesaawo naye yavuddeyo n'akuba emiranga n'agamba nti bannange bamafya kye bankola bandi bubi yagenda n'abeera nga akaluteka kyeyayitamu nga yayeesimye n'omukulu Acrobat era n'agamba n'agenda mu kooti naye kooti gye byagweredde ng'emusingisizza omusango nemugamba aliyirire Acrobat obukadde 3 wamu ne EC sente ze zimu omukulu ono bagamba kooti era yavudde n'eraga nti ebintu bikwatibwe awo we tuli naye ekyennaku mukulu omukukunavu leero ndabyeko Facebook page y'omukulu ngenda sa producer wange abeerenga akampa Facebook y'omukulu Dr. Kiza Besigye nga nayogera ku ogundi organic case era ng'agamba nti kituufu organic case eno weeri era Abannayuganda bangi bali mu kufa tuve tulwanira ensonga eno.
How long has it taken Besigye, a medical doctor, to realize this?
No, kasaka kitegedde.
One of the reasons why I was sacked from State House, I had accessed and I had been appointed by the international community to investigate organic cases. You are seeing the tail end of this problem. By the time a man called Amlan, a Pakistani, arrived in Uganda, I had already received recording mechanism.
Swini yafaawo nga wokiraba yeeyo Facebook page y'omukulu Dr. Kiza Besigye ng'ayogera ku nsonga ya organs mutuufu ensonga weeri ekutte wansi ne waggulu
bwe bajja baatandikira ku famire yange batajetinga mukazi wange ng'akawala bakayita Nabukeera noonya Nabukeera mutte yabula I'm looking for her alabika baamutoba yadduka n'alwalinga mukazi wange sibaitutunda mpeke nga bali wandegeya. A former minister or attorney general was operating in the Wandegeya office.
Okay.
Oyo Mpakisani bwe yajja wano baatuulanga mu Nanjingi hotel he was watching them.
Okay.
Yasulako ne kwa Acacia Avenue. Kati nga baagala tumwebaza ayokola nnyo naye tumwebaza nje mukalambaza. If I don't fear abaana be nga sibakwatira kisoba mukazi we. Tumwebaza akeera ku majanga akalambadde. Mu buliri nga tebandabyeko. Have the capacity.
Ani ekito kikoto tukawaawo.
Kuba
abana tebalina kusanga.
Yakagezaako okuzita emirundi eki.
Esatu.
The last one yatudde ne Lwabwogo. Lwabwogo n'amugamba nti Mirundi is a voice of reason. Mirundi is bamweyana.
Oli musambwa.
Yes. Lwabwogo who owns the church.
Agumanyi bamweyana amumanyi.
N'agamba nti I did I investigated the history of Uganda culture and I came across a man called Bamweyana. Bamweyana is drunk. Bamweyana smokes marijuana. Bamweyana appears to be mad, but Bamweyana is an intelligent.
Is intelligent. Enkola ya kyalo nenga mugezi.
Mirundi is Bamweyana, which is true. Omusambu angulina. Ene kopira jola beyo eyo mukeeka. Eyo egundi.
Ya Bamweyana omulalu.
Kutiya je nyambala. Bamweyana. Musambu ogw'amaanyi mu Buganda. When you have Bamweyana, Bamweyana nti ogabanga mulalu. Bamweyana strikes deals, that's why I have money. Bamweyana akuleetera emikwano, I have friends.
Kituufu.
Cannot fight me.
Kituufu.
Bamweyana is intelligent. But in Uganda culture, bwe baba kwe bayita okubanda. Ono mando baba amubanda. The mando is given conditions under which it operates. Ti omuzzukulu talina nnyumba tajja kukwambala mbugo na kufuuwa mmindi ku nnyumba gya mizigo bajja muyita mulogo. Ekyo kimuwummuze until he gets what? Enyumba eyiye. So me I don't smoke as he said. I don't smoke. I don't smoke marijuana. I don't drink water. My Bamweyana is a modernized person, but I am highly intelligent. I predict it. Nenga tumwebaze yagula abantu era nga alina Lwabwogo. I can play the tape and the video. Omusajja n'agamba Lwabwogo. Lwabwogo n'agamba sinze. But my friend tumwebaze. Tumwebaze bujja keeru. Kaji Derek is father. One day mujjukosa nga kakalambadde. Why? They're zeroing on him. I wonder why Museveni leaves to Mwebazi, who is testifying on Zoom, kukutta abantu. Nga is heavily involved. Museveni namulekanga stinking mu cabinet. N'aba cabinet, yes, awe tumwebaze.
Bali kujimu mwezi.
Mkubi, tumwebaze. Unuka ng'amazzi, unuka ng'enagisi, unuka ng'omulambwe. It should be the cabinet which is away to Mwebaze. It stinks. This man, the Pakistani, has implicating evidence, implicating it to Mwebaze.
What about evidence?
Bajina.
Basirika.
I told you, where is Wawuya? Where is Weyomba?
Nobody
knows. The chairman of the Mafia Fellowship sat with Wawuya and Weyomba in Makere College Inn. I captured them on both video and audio. And this Wawuya stammers. But I'm hearing a man called Tamale Mirundi talking about these things. What I can assure you, the former Attorney General, who is also implicated, has tried to hang himself twice.
Anthony General gwe manyi owaffe owange we nakawa
kakati oyo yagenda mu lujjalwe n'ayimirira. I know Mr. Tamale Mirundi, you are watching me. You bagged my house. Why? I'm looking for school fees for my children. You know I was sacked. Why don't you debug? I know Museveni gave you these machines. But I'm also an NRM man. The man pleaded. But you have been given every opportunity to get money. Where did you put that money? To force you. Mukazi we yamugamba. The woman died in serious days. One day they will be investigated. Kati uganti Weyomba and Wawuya. bakwata badira. When you see, when Museveni tried to bring Chubani doctors,
yes,
he was frustrated. Why? This organ business could not go on when the Chubani doctors were in present.
When you were present here.
When Museveni brought this Italian woman who resembles Gaddafi to set up a modern factory at Mukaga to save money from going to India, they frustrated it. Where they find that the land titles are different. How can the government buy land from the when you have who prevails over the other? Nenga effort za Museveni was frustrating. Oyo yali doctor oyo yadduka kati oyo yali doctor akwat. Arrest that man who incited the doctors against Chubani doctors. The Chubani doctors are in Kenya. These ones are trained in a different institution. Kubanga abasajja baba communist bagezi. Abalasi obalaba. During the Soviet Union time, Africans who lacked brains were trained in Lumumba University.
Okay.
The real brain workers were trained in their universities. A Soviet Union engineer who trained in Lumumba University, Kaunek, is different from a Soviet trained in Unek was trained in Lumumba University. Oyo Unek oyo ajoga abantu. Yeregale goyo nga namukubye kuba refugees. Kanirana we he hides himself.
Okay.
Kakati abachuba bali baba training bamanyi Uganda. Bamanyi Nyankole. These are trained for bamanyi Uluru. These are trained for export. Machinery. Yes. Two countries have excess doctors. Is Cuba and Italy. Okay. Italy nibo genda ku embassy ya the medical doctors. Okay. Because you must understand that the Romans had this Abaitali bayina ebintu bibiri bisatu mu nsi. Italians and medical doctors. Why? Okay. Emperor Caesar. The word comes from Caesarean.
Okay.
Nyina balongosa mulongose.
Yes.
Which means nalaba president nga azannya omuzannyo gwa Julius Caesar. At that time of Julius Caesar, the doctors in Rome could operate a woman. Chikutegeeza how strong. The second Italian monopoly is the shoes.
Italian shoes.
Mu byafaayo omunaana ebiri mu nsi oluguudo lw'obujjo oluli mu Italy mu Roma Abaroma be basooka okukola enguudo. Kakati during winter nga tusobola kutambala ngatto. During summer nga tuyinza kutambala ngatto. So the Romans invested heavily in shoemaking.
Mukole ngatto.
Era bw'osoma akatabo kange nti saving a cobbler to kill a medical doctor.
A medical doctor.
Nti akakasajja ka tumwebaze. Nakano kagundi kana akafekete kano akali mu New Vision bakayitani apo. Robert Kabushenga be babba oluguudo lw'ekatosi ne basiba byandaala.
Are you sure?
Yes. Kakati tumwebaze bagenda kutunda buli kake konna wabadde abba buli wamu. Nkugamba mukatabaako nti a Roman judge was confronted by the two issues.
Yes.
A cobbler had killed a person. But because of his specialty in shoemaking, even the judge's shoes were torn because the shoe maker was inside the cells.
The cells, okay.
They had to find out. A judge, this man, because he was a celebrity, was celebrity. Tebayina mpisa. Kakati yatta omuntu abba bakabanne. Celeb.
Omukubi w'engatto.
Yes.
Yekaya ali ku kyalo.
Before court. As the judgment was coming to an end, the Italian judge was summing up his evidence. He asked the court, he asked the man, that before consenting you, what do you give to mitigation? Mitigations, yeah? You tell the court why I should not give you a stronger punishment. And the Roman law said that if you kill a person, you must be killed to appease the spirit of the dead. The judge was trapped until in mitigation Instead of this man coming up, the Kobula, another man stood up in the court, say, my lord, although the Roman justice says that whoever kills a person is killed, it is not clear whether the killer should be killed. But the purpose of the Roman law was to appease
the spirit okay.
by killing another person. In this case, if the cobra is useful, we cannot do with the cobra. What do? They started interpreting the Italian law, the Roman law. Yes. Now that we have known, the judge moved in government. No. Do you know that most of our judges don't get, they cannot get money from a bank?
Why?
Judicially, Chiwanuka said judicially, Chiwanuka has killed the judiciary. Akubira abalamuza amasimu. No, not seeking. A Gwanga Badis. Bwendi kuba obutambi bwa Chiwanuka ajja kudduka. Bwendi kuba obutambi, Chief Justice ajja kudduka. Bwendi kuba obutambi, Speaker ajja kudduka olanya.
Okikakasa.
I'm telling you.
Bwana mwebali.
Bwendi kuba obutambi bwendi.
Abantu
baga nti lwaki okuba bwa luddalumu. That's what I want. But there is nobody who speaks in Uganda nga simutegedde. Besigye yagamba nga ayogera nti bwendi kwata power ye Mirundi musalirawo.
Ovaawo.
Golooza nti Besigye byayogera ne Bobi Wine sibimanyi. Bogera mu koti nti access ekyobola bansereko bamwetikisiza empunu. Nsereko bamulesezze etteeka nga balowooza sobola mukuba. Kuba mwana wa mwannyinaze. But he did not consult me. Yeyita ono kojjaawo omuto. Nange ne muyita ne mugamba tobyogera tobidefendinga. Ogenda
kumukuba.
Kubanga nsereko kyataategeera ngenda kiddako. Kati kuka nti
ensonga z'abayita.
Roman judge said, why don't you, now we have a problem. This man has killed, has broken the ice. We don't need to kill the killer.
The killer.
But what we need is to kill.
To appease the spirit.
To appease the spirit.
Okay.
And the judge proposed. Then, in that situation, we are helped by the interpretation of this man. Okay. Whom do we kill? The man said, since we have so many medical doctors in town, and allow this cobra to go security-free. That's what the judges are doing in Uganda.
Omuntu akoze omusango bamuvaako newego bakola ki?
Yes. Kakati nze nkugamba nti ekibaleetedde obuzibu lwabwogo bw'abayitiriddeko lwabwogo is also implicated.
In the organic case?
Kati Besigye ekimujjayo. I'm suspecting. And when I tell you 10 things, lwabwogo is going to bolot. Lwabwogo agenda kuva mu government. Ate Museveni yakola ensobi n'amuwa omulimu special advisor. Lwabwogo now has created the problems for the government. He controls the media. All what is happening in the media is his. Has known that he has been undermining Muhoozi. Muhoozi is a human being. Bwebamukubako olowooza bituufu. Nabaweereza message. Nimbaga nti let me tell you, look what the concerns of Lwabwogo. Ngambalaba mu meeting. Nakuno kweri. Lwabwogo is the richest man in Uganda.
The richest man in Uganda.
He controls a part of the economy.
Yeah, Uganda.
Yes. Kakati Lwabwogo address his concerns. Can he entrust the power to Gundi?
Muhoozi.
Tamwagalirako ddala. Yagamba Muhoozi is weak. Bwe tumuwa obwa pulezidenti amagye gajja muwamba. Lwaki gawamba Muhoozi gwa civilian ne gatakuwamba.
But who has to? I know kusalira oba na Uganda. I know tukulembera.
Bakimanyi boba confused ruling family ne first family.
They are confusing ruling family and first family.
Propose Natasha kyobula baleeta bino ebyokuyitira mu Kamuuli nabagambye mmwe olanya alibeera speaker kwolwo olunaku ajja kufuluma horizontal wajja kubeerawo basi ezibalindiridde bakuba kimbia enda mbia kapasi babateeka eruzira parliament bagigirewo ddala
jona badeko n'omukulu wane n'omukulu n'omwami wane eno twabadeko no ku shock nyini ku set wano ku STV n'agamba nti ebintu byogamba nti no transformers cadres agenda association simanya ya Lwabwogo tebiriyo si
attention n'obutambi I capture him.
Yagabe kumbe tebiriyo si bya Lwabogo.
Lwabogo is a very strategic man. Very strategic. Why? Never joke with a self-made person. Lwabogo was a gate man in London.
Tamale.
How has he graduated to the level? Ate Lwabogo tali respecting a family.
Bajja kusunyinga kalebule. He was a gate man.
Lwabogo was a gate man in London. Era the first thing he did, drawing from his experience as a gate man, he started a security company. And he says it was his money that attracted the daughter of the president. At one time, Lwabogo said, I have recorded this. I'm not a member of their family. The children are members. Kakati Lwabogo, you must address. A snake is normally a non-hostile reptile. But you step on it, it turns back. Yes. Kati, you must understand what causes upheavals in this country. Musota, the snake politics. As Obote wanted to get rid of Amin, Nagende Singapore, Obote always did important things, either in northern Uganda or while he was away. When it backfires, Abama Zokolachi, Obote directed Oito Joko to arrest Idi Amin. This woman, Mwitani Hajati Anuna. Hajati Anuna was a secretary of Amin. Was a secretary of Obote. Because UPC is a non-tribal party.
Okay.
Kakati Anuna yalikinga information ya Amin. Obote alagide bakolechi.
Bakwati.
That's why Oito Joko was hurried up in parliament.
Okay.
That's why Obote hated Okero Lutwa. Why? Instead of heading to Kampala, Okero Lutwa was commanding office of Masaka. Instead of heading to Kampala to cool down, to confront the Amin soldiers, he fled to Tanzania. This is why Okero Lutwa depended largely on Museveni's income. This is why this current minister, Okero Liem, babysat Muhozi. Okero Lutwa was depending on selling Gichako. Museveni yakwatanga sente. Museveni invested for Yabagamba vision. He invested in Okero Lutwa.
Okay.
Kakati nkugamba. Nti bwe tuvaawo. Abaganda Obote bw'abakuba mu masaza agabula. There was a constitutional provision that after 2 years of independence, the counties will have a referendum. Bwe bali nga Ben Kiwanuka yagamba mu Lancaster, solve this problem, you created it. But the Bazungu refused, but left it. They take out referendum in 2 years, from 60 to 64. As we are debating Mikaeli Kintu, an illiterate who could only hear English, yajulianga na inga talwogera. Kintu was a talented man who could hear English but could not speak it. Kintu nabagamba, no, let us decide here and there. Masaza agabula. Kakati Obote naweereza Kintu kachiti ne bakamusomera. Kintu, why are you delaying us? We have already defeated Kiwanuka. When both of us are in power, who will organize this referendum? But it was a constitutional provision. Obote mu 64 agiteekawo. Abaganda bekalakasa. Bagende egindi. Mutesa is the president who shot 9 people in a market in Kaluguguza. Mutesa ava mu motoka yena jamu submachine gun natta abantu mu katale. Nami ntakikolangako. The first president of Uganda to kill people emisana tu was Mutesa no yezu wetu ndayiga. Olwa Abaganda bakawuna bo baba mobilize. Sabasajja yanguwa ogende ndayiga nyabe ndayiga o ndayiga nyabe ndayiga ndayiga amasaza bagatwala kuganga yizi bali twala ne buyaga balitwala okumanya abasajja abimengo basajja bagamba abaganda the bazungu knew Andrew Cohen knew amafuta ndigali bunyoro
okay.
But he did not tell baganda a particular place. Maybe in the red counties there can be oil. Why? Buganda spent on the instruction, on the advice of Andrew Cohen. Andrew Cohen yali agamba nga bagamba tugenda kubeera ne Governor General. Cohen agenda kusigala wano nga Governor General.
Okay.
Ate ensi yeefuze n'alimba Muteesa. Kakati Muteesa ateeka ssente ze nnyingi wa endayige obota akuba amasaza agateeka Kagundi. That was the fall of the two. Okay. What I'm telling you nti mu Uganda buli lwotunuulira Muwanga, why did Muwanga turn against Obote? Muwanga knew like a snake nti Obote is creating an alternative base. Alonze Peter Otai as Minister of Security, Minister of State. Adi the regular army agitaddemu special force. Nali mu Kampala one. When the special force was passing, demonstrating through Kampala to show that Peter Otai had created an army against the regular army. Baba kuba masasi.
Okay.
Muwanga yalagira regular army. Baba masasi wafa waga.
Asatu.
Muwanga n'avayo n'aga nti babadde tubayita bayekera bafudde luweero. They have a new uniform. That's why Muwanga obasira obwo. Kakati okukamu nkugamba ti Lwabogo has reached this level. He cannot entrust his will to somebody else. No. And unlike Lwabogo is the strongest faction in any other government. Yatandika ne patriotical groups. Gatsezala wetamulaba. N'atugoba fenna n'atugoba. Lwabogo n'agoba buli muntu yenna. N'atuula naye appeasing Hitler. Kakati today, the efforts that Lwabogo are doing to lure me into his camp is not what Muhoozi and Museveni are doing.
Okay.
In fact, if I wasn't principled, nga Lwabogo samuwabira dda waffe mu nsozi, I would have grabbed his yakwa Museveni yampa ssente. Lwabogo n'aziwamba. I should get it. Yenga anoonya reconciliation. Did Museveni direct Lwabogo to give me the money?
I don't know ways of understanding this important.
2 days ago, Lwabogo sent a person. Nemugamba gwe, give that money to Onogondi, Onani, Barugahali. Balam nayogera nabo. Bring the money. But Museveni doesn't give me a coin.
Okay.
Until Lwabogo has the most powerful faction in this government. Well organized. Has money. Ye Museveni bwagamba nti bakuwesende nakugamba. When Sidiru invites me and Museveni invites me, I go first. Museveni na Rweiso and Lwabogo yagoba nacho nagoba Kadaga. I have the meeting. Nagoba nachobe nagoba Kadaga. Nagabe bampa sente. Nalagira bagagga bonna including my relatives. And squeezing them kubenyondo mutwe nakola eyo advisors meeting yali ekyankwanza babalanda tajimaje yava. It was intended for me wana kano kajoka nalimba ta mukazi wange yankwatia mu muka kangende nzita abantu bano wafewo 10 atanu kagende kubisaga ekyankwanza bantu bano bakomo kutegeera kakati yagamba ki what you are seeing now Lwabogo has remained one thing is to borrow it. Government. Government. Let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen. Bw'oba oyagala okustudyinga gavumenti ya Museveni enkuba gye bakubyemu gerageranya ne Putin. Abazungu enkuba gye bakubyemu Putin. Bw'oba oyagala okulaba engeri gye bakubyemu gavumenti ya wano tunde ekiri Russia essaawa zinene bifaanagana bitya? I told you that the Americans are no longer interested in occupying the territory. That's the old fashion of war. Because you cannot have what through peace talks, what does not reflect the territory you are occupying now. That was the old fashioned principle of war. The Americans have bebaita gond seals. Yeah. They detect you from there, hit you, and they go back. Okay. They hit Bin Laden in Pakistan. Did they occupy Pakistan? No, they didn't. But if the operation had developed, either by this or by the Kumeri Zam, the Bawon and Bamalaw.
Okay.
Ekitegeredde seal of occupying territory
tekikyakola.
They left Russia. They turned China into their backyard. Who buys Chinese products? Are they the Chinese? You see Chinese in Africa. The poor people. The largest trading pattern of China is the European Union, which means if the European Union imposes sanctions on China, China can crumble. The economy crumbles.
Oh.
But
is that why you are seeing China?
He does not control your family, but he controls you because you get food from him. He can create a stampede in your family.
Chitufu.
Yes. Kakati bana abasajja bagezi. They can. I cannot rule out that there are seals in Ukraine. But there are two important issues. Okay. One, Ukraine was under the Soviet Union.
Yes.
When this man, Putin, was the head of KGB, a terrorist organization, a torturing institution, never called a referendum for independence.
Okay.
Can they go back to the Russians? If today we hear that Amini's soldiers are organizing,
are coming back,
what happens? The first peace talks were supposed to be taking place in Tanzania. The moment newspaper reports indicated that Mariam was here, Unzi was here, this is when it was lost. Okay. Tanzania entered Uganda for self-defense. As long as Amin remained a buffoon in Uganda, Ngavuma Nyerere, Vamukazi Nali kuwasiriza. The moment Amin annexed Kagera, the Tanzanians united. Amin yali alowooza tibwalumba Tanzania, the army in Tanzania will topple Nyerere. Because Tanzanians were fed up.
We are fed up.
Nyerere was spending money on the liberation groups. But once the Tanzanians knew, how can we be ruled by puppets from Idi Amin? In fact, South Africa, the Boers in South Africa wanted to give Amin money and weapons because they thought that this was another front to weaken Nyerere's frontline state, his contribution. Oh. Yes. Kakati the Ukrainians, abalaba independence bagende. Are you returning us back? There will be an uprising. Government bagijeko. Nabakadde bakutte mundu. Defending. Tennaggwawe yalaba ku bujogo bw'abalasa.
Tebagala kudda mu kintu kino kyebayitamu. Yesu kwaki Putin okutalo mu kalubiridde. Economy. Lube gudde. Gwolooza nti bagenda abazungu abo they are still but steady. Robinson yakyali Ukraine. Yali asobola okugenda Ukraine nga special forces bangu Bungereza tebaliyo. Could he risk? Tekisoboka. Which means there was a strong presence of British soldiers in Ukraine. Yeah. America nga bagambye nti banalumba Uganda bakwata abaganda abanyankola abaki. The person who commanded the failed operation in Somalia was Ayadidi's son. Ekyabwe tekigwawo bugwi. Kiba kipulaning na kitegeteeka. Kaka today, how have these people defeated Gund? Because Fabaganda tukimanyi. Ali kungulu ataga nti mututaase. Russia wouldn't have accepted the talks. Yes. Ate bajja kulekayo bamutegedde. They are warning China. You can make a economic Gund. Netujitanga tusindise even a single soldier. Kana bano bakoze Museveni. They are using human rights on Museveni. Whoever violates human rights is targeted by sanctions. Why is it that abantu bonna babira tortured? Ku kitebe kamoocha. Bavuli baba paradinga. President abakundi balaga nti banabaliko kwogera I was tortured. Watch kikolwa bwekitu. Where the president is not to understand these Europeans. Nzinafuna omukisa. I did the propaganda in one of the best institutions in Europe when I was young. I was smuggled here. Hey. Yes. I can sit down. I did the propaganda. Propaganda is not telling lies. Propaganda is a packaging of facts to suit a certain type. When I'm talking to my university students, I use different similes. When I go home,
mwebaze yeegattanirwa bwoko bang'ana okugenda mu kalulu.
Ku kino propaganda means package facts, having facts. Onokuba ng'olina bwino.
Why am I making every day nga mbeera ku program ng'abantu bawulira? I turned my programs into lectures.
Kusomesa ggwanga.
Yes, I will lose. You cannot defend undefendable things. Bw'obanga emmotoka ez'okusikayo gye newaayo omugga nga yo nnafu nnyo naye
egenda bugenzi.
Sisobola kutanishinga image yange. This is how I have defeated these people with all of the resources. Kakati nkugamba ti Museveni bamukubira human rights.
Yes.
Economy bajja gitta. You not see a European soldier here. Tojja
kulabikako waneeno.
As you have not seen the European soldiers in
Russia.
No. Gwe kyogamba nti egyo emizinga egiri sophisticated Germany gyebawa bagiyikidde waawo oba waliwo abagermany abagikolako. For the first time when Saddam Hussein fired Scud missiles into Israeli territory, the Americans had to come to operate them. For the first time, Israel's defense was under foreigner, the Americans. How can you tell me that the Germany sophisticated missiles are handled by Ukrainians? Russia bamutegeera da nabagamba nti Russia, as the Soviet Union was lured into Afghanistan, Russia has been lured into Ukraine. The Russian Federation will crumble. If Putin is not lucky, he will be like Milosevic. He will be humiliated in the head, or he will be assassinated by his people. He will disappear like a Hitler. Kati nze bwe mmala okutunuulya eyo situation nengireetawo
n'ogiteeka wano ewaffe
nti bano baba Museveni gavumenti ye bagikubira ku kintu eki. Bakocha abalungi bw'ategeera nti omupiira guno ayagala tiimu enaazannya ku deciding match, abazannyi b'abalungi ayinza okubajjamu n'alekawo defense ng'omulimu gwayo kulemesa bano kuteeba ne goal kulemera mupiira time ogweyo
natwaliza obudde
good players for the final match.
Yes.
Kakati bano abazungu they have learned from Kenya. Do you see violence in Kenya?
No.
Why? The 2007
elections, yep.
They made sure that Uhuru Kenyatta had to eat his humble pie and be humiliated before international cameras at Hague.
Yes.
As African leaders were arguing, no sitting African leader can be humiliated to Hague. Uhuru, why? Why did Uhuru humble himself? One, in American tradition, a president who is not a descendant of was not a descendant, whose parents were not born in America, in his last term must visit his country of origin. So we are faced with the two challenges. Obama to visit Kenya as a former president, or to visit Kenya as the United States president. Okumanya abazungu bazibu. Laba Barack Obama ajaddi nga America eri isolated bagikubye Twin Towers. The whole country, everywhere there are celebrations. How do we deceive these people? Mufune omusajja alina amanya g'ekisiraamu. Barack Obama. Is he a Muslim? Mama we ng'avaawa Malaysia. The most populous Islamic country mu nsi
is Malaysia.
Naye every American president okujjako Trump must have origins in Ireland. Obama yagendayo nga jjajjaawe gyali
mu Ireland.
These people tebakola nga balwabo. These are people who are paid money to think like me.
Tamale bana basajja tunabatuukako endowooza yaabwe.
Let us come to our place. Nti Museveni bamukubisa ki?
Human rights.
Kakati bo bakimanyi. Bano bamakyaze mu human rights. Fe baatugoba ne tugenda nga balowooza wagajja kunjooga Museveni ankanyuga kasasiro mbeere kasasiro mange gumwokeze bamukubye amagulu munda najja mu meeting Museveni nangoba ku teepu enfu nze ngende mu president's office nga timwebazango bye yego new vision nanja kubatta That's how I've survived 8 years. Nagende wange nenebaka nimanya bajja kunonya nonyayo lwaboga nonyeyo mukube nyondo mutu sezala we yewunye nenazala ne bajja ko pologulabu za jakemu kasajja ko jakemu ne bagoba mutabazi ne baleta kawala ka UCC jakemu bakubene kitawo bamutte. I handed over myself to the population. Abaganda bakuganda government okunonya n'abantu government ekunonya abantu bakweka oloza gontaliyo
we wali koti yensi y'abantu nawe.
Yes. Toyinza kunchima wange kuba mutayima. You bring an appointment later, I shoot you. When you bring a sacking later, I shoot the chicken for you. Tetujja kudda. Ate lwaboga yatugoba ate kati nayamu.
Alesa kiyeta guyomwe baza bwebaza alesa baluwe kugoba.
Wange tebaita siddayo. What I want from them is compensation. If they are really true barokole, bali tuula wansi baga nti omwana ono yatukolera.
Mzee Tamale. Victims one bakwata. Abantu abadde tortured. Beba parading. Kamera nezivayo.
Let me give you an example. It is we people about studying propaganda who understand propaganda terms. When they tell you a travel ban, kandiko yagamba njagala yoki.
Sina kye neegombayo.
Kandiko didn't know
the implication.
One, once you face a travel ban by USA, you will never enter USA and its allies. You cannot go to China. Two, you cannot transact business in America. You cannot, even your family is deported. Oleme kugamba nti banganye okulaba ki
abantu bange.
They give you a time limit to sell your properties, otherwise they are confiscated.
Zobadde ina yeri
bakayigula abakandiko babadde babawano ng'abaana baabwe bali bweru balinayo property. Lwaki omusajja bw'oba tolina ssente mu mpale omusazi w'ensawo n'agamba muzeeyi ssente zo zigwa lwaki okwata mu nsawo
nalaba tolinamu?
Yes. Can the Americans say that they have imposed a travel ban on me? Buy our property in America. Bw'olaba bakujingire kuba babawano abaana baabwe bali bweru ne batta ebigezo bya wano ne bonoona buli kimu. Ministry of Education ne bagitta ne babba ssente za TV ne babba eza radio 19 billion. Abaana baabwe tebaliiwo wano abaffe bagwe.
Mzee Tamale kaddemu bwe bataddeko travel ban kitegeeza olina ky'olina eri. Nze tariki batalina kyena tibasawunda travel ban because sina kyenkola ki.
Fe Abaganda otya nazalawo nti akankanya obuko. Kakati gwe nazala wange omudduka obuko.
Ate lwaki?
Akwatirawo obuko.
Ate bunkwatirawo.
When you see they have nti bakutaddeko travel ban.
Kitegeeza obadde olina ky'okola ki?
Olina ky'olinayo.
Nga twaggwawo dda abasajja baatu.
What they have done, Kandiko didn't know, and because of the implications, and they did not inform Museveni. Kandiko wouldn't have been given the foreign assignment. Why? Kandiko, because he has been targeted, cannot transact business. He cannot even receive his salary through the bank system.
Is that why Nesdani bamujeni wamukomyawo wanene?
Anti alina kusasula musaala mukasi. Anuka ne banka zinukira. This is what these people don't know. This is why Lwabogo strives to ensure tinemuhozi afuna eba mwononi ngakone kwa tumwebaze ke bafuna anu okutta abantu kuba muhozi mukutta abantu talimu mwoganike talimu Lwabogo mwali kati mwebaze mwekali.
Is that why bajoka kwenza am implicating it no
naye bamulemaze ate tayina amawulire ga Lwabogo. Museveni yakwatanga ssente nga Lwabogo ne Kalisa namulaba Kalisa nga asinika enzinyo babye 10 billion. Museveni yabadde 10 billion zange mba naziza omusango Kalisa wampona nangena mubana mulaba awo ne baagala asinika enzinyo tamakade benyondo nekikwatako emirundi 3 bakalisa mutti olwo president mugamba listen bagenze wa Museveni abagambye oba olwo kwatumwebaze bakasasudde 5 billion mwoteri yako mutasuze bantu kasajja kojja kusasula Europe ojja kuddayo mu bwolobwe wakajiji obunuka. Poverty is a gravity. Ne bunkuba ne buneerega mu mbu mbwabiza mbijo guli nambu ate nja bukuba ne video buli katambi kenkuba konna nkawa embassy nakwata obutambi bwonna nga Lwaboga antekako pressure salinde them to the embassies mumuzite mulabe baba batire wanu musajjamu kakati ye Museveni bamumaze ali mu situation
njya tunyine ebintu bibiri ekisooka ogambye nti abazungu balina kye bakola tebajja mu kifo bawako bakozesa olwaleero ekintu ekiri ekamwokya obona bakwata abaana ne babaparadinga abatochalingiddwa abazungu bebatuma abaana eno kikola.
Monitor published a story that a man had spent 20 years in prison.
Yes.
Nibamulaga. This is a man who was arrested for killing the Mirundis. Nga gundi omuhikiro watu.
Okay.
Ye yabatta. Kubanga ba Mirundi bali foto nga banywa omwenge. Ne balaba omusajja yatta Kijana Ngoma. The man who killed Kijana Ngoma was ADC to Mugisha Muntu as a Kamekamaanda. Committed a crime nadduka. Era Mugisha Muntu yakwata jeti mwebaze namusiba mukomera. Yatta abantu mu National Park. Ekyo kyakubya Mugisha Muntu. N'adira esente ziyasanga mu office. Esimanyi sida ya jeshi n'azijjamu. Salizi yali ataddemu. Amunoti cashier. Ne bamuwalana. Ne baleeta engatto z'oludda olumu. Nebaleta gundi kyovala bayi abakyawangaza. If there is anybody who hates them is Mugisha Muntu. We are in the same position.
Okay.
Tusobola kubasonyiwa okujja ku compensation. Nti ntule mu meeting omuli tumwebaze simwe atuyite Museveni. Ajja wali wasse munni. Azire n'obwo bwana. Agenda okujjanga commando beku kisengo bankalumye ekimiro.
Oli commando.
Yes. Akati nkugane gamba. Ti monitor yabadde ejirese n'enjikuba.
bamusiba akyali muvubuka kati ali myaka 5.
Family file bagikweka. Not to this man would have been charged for killing 3 people.
3 people, okay.
Yatta Kijana Ngoma. Nattani ba Mirindi aba Uganda ne Makerere. This man monitor gwe one. Nattani journalist wange. Bageno Musa basende.
Are you sure?
No. Because if you cannot hand the trigger to kill for yourself, you end up being katulamu ended up with serial killer. Katumusango ne bagutta. Ubona ogwe Makerere
guno ne gufa.
Kati kijja kyasama. Ba abewa bami bakubeba kyaso mutwe. Bakubeba kinonye bakyaso omutwe. How can you say come gwe eyata abantu bali? And you went through a corrupt system. Mufairo baje bewandike ate monitor nabukubye budduka. Kakati yesterday bwakubye story. A student was tortured in a police cell and to death. Do you see a response from government? Minister of Information and National Guidance. How much fuel do you need to go to that police station? Has Enanga spoken?
No.
Where is the investigations? Are you sure that a student was killed? Which school does this man who was killed? Or he is a criminal?
Where is CIA?
Yeah. And when you see students, have we seen students strangling their girlfriends?
Yes, to be
done.
Yes, to be done.
Yes. What if a student is suspected and dies in prison? What if he committed suicide? Baba was a student. And nobody in Kampala, we don't get a response the following day. Even the police that is implicated does not come out to clear his name. In Kampala, country, where you can walk. No, because this is a government within a government.
Okay.
Baga nakubya katambi ekiro. Ngabaga anti Mirundi agamba nti there is a subterfuge. Yes, a subterfuge is a group of criminals inside the government. Okay. They depend on stealing government money, which you are doing. $400 million is Museveni mwaziba. Kitutu bali kukuba lunaku olumu ne bakutta. Bali kuba kitutu. Nankabirwa abadde ze yeewujja. Yeewujja jewo umegundi. Ne mbawandikira akatabo kano. Nankabirwa yasirika bajja mukuba bamuttire wano. Omugundi nendaba musajja.
Paying off umeme.
Ninde bomusajja ngono Mayanja. Mayanja n'abakoba bamukozesa okujoga.
Tugalagera okupati.
Museveni cannot remove n'abakoba. Kati yadduse ali wuwe alwana n'abagagga bajja mwaso omutwe. Museveni bwe batta apiriga ya muwaji.
Tugalagera mu kyokubiri muzayita
Mayanja duki.
Mayanja n'abakoba.
Bwe banga Museveni tasobola kudisciplininga n'abakoba. Kakati yalagira Museveni yalagira nti ate gundi ono General Gundi alweso atatu sebyencha na bano Mukimulikiri kubanga atuuse ku level kitakyasobola kugobako n'omu.
Bashirekerani
abasajja abaganda kasooka ddiwa abakazi bo bwe bajja ng'ojjako ettaala gwenkutteko yawangudde be decisive. Why should n'abakoba the minister doesn't n'abakoba mukubempi Museveni nga nze ndi banyenja kuba n'abakoba empi Museveni muteeka mu situation to decide. Kakati nkubulira egamba a story eyalabikidde mu Monitor eggulo because when the Monitor publishes a story, is there a follow-up? Is there a response?
A response?
Why did this story appear in the Monitor alone? Why didn't the usually excited Enanga pick this story? It was a headline.
Yes.
It wasn't not an inside.
Yes, it was a headline.
Not a page.
Yes.
Has the government come up?
No.
Kakati. Nenkubuulira nti awo mu human rights bamaze obakolaki
the
moment an enemy takes air superiority akuwangudde kyobola banyonyi z'abalasa bazikubye ne bazimala mu bbanga. The moment your enemy controls the skies akuwangudde can hit on
galugena mukumula mukatono nnyo
Museveni bamugyeko media
galugena mukuwumula
yatujoga ne tudduka n'ayinvestiga mu lwabogo atande against him talina follow back position kati ayiteyo ffe emyaka 8 abaana bange ne batasoma onsindikira omuntu wange simukuba enyondo omutwe simukuba simuyira asidi nti akamotoka kani
Gatuli Human Rights omuchairperson w'akakiiko ka Human Rights Commission Human Rights Commission Mariam Wangadi yavuddeyo n'agamba Parliament nti naye akolera mu kutya statement yetegeeza
no kakati bwe bamala bakwata mu human rights you tell me how an intelligent man should explain to me why is it that Bobi Wine is now an ambulance? Does Bobi Wine have medical teams? Whoever is tortured and thrown on the west side is picked by Bobi Wine, who alerts him. Kitegeeza, there is a trick because the government is fighting itself. The people who are torturing the people are connected to Bobi Wine.
Okay.
Yes. Kakati bebasuula bwe bamala okubatokyolinga, why don't they kill them?
Correction in which way? Bantu be oba.
Anti bababuulira. Why don't we see corpses?
No.
Why don't we see corpses? We are seeing
to
find the Amini's victims in Namamve. We had people who depended on directing people. Abadde musati myufu ali wali. Naye bano baba torturing ne babasuula. Are they tortured or are they playing games? Did the government send a medical doctor okuzuula omusajja oyo from there yalazeewa nolobe nganga nolobe mpuuta awo government baba gimaze olunatawaka bwali omuziba nnyenda baba kumaze from there does Bobi Wine have a hospital? These people after picking them and exposing them to the public, where do they go for treatment?
Tova Quest TV tugira wadakana nnyo
muzeeyi aleme kukkiriza Kinigeria